Hi, everybody. Welcome to our weekly crypto update. Crypto is breaking out strongly, and I have prepared some charts here to put things into perspective. As you can see here, the first chart, we have our sector performance over the last 7 days. It's a classic risk on rally here. You see Bitcoin as the lowest relative performer here with just around plus 3%. And the higher beta sectors such as meme coins, DeFi, also our American crypto leaders, which are tokens domiciled in the US, outperform strongly with over 9% over the last week. Now, what happens? We had since yesterday, over the last 3 days, a breakout of this beautiful bull flag here. You also see we had a very long consolidation pattern for Bitcoin dating back to the end of last year. And now we broke through some key levels. And if you do a measured move here since the last breakout of April and projected with the latest breakout, a technical target is around 150,000 US dollars. So keep in mind, that's not a prediction, that's just technical analysis, but nevertheless, very positive. Now, eye-catching is also that we have life back in Ethereum, which is very important for the altcoin market. Remember, I think there is no broad altcoin rally without participation of Ethereum. And so finally, we are around the $3,000 level again. We also have this beautiful wedge pattern. So there's a longer way to go for Ethereum. But if it breaks through this wedge, more positive follow through for the whole altcoin market can be expected. Now, important is that we stay at least above the 2.8, 2.9 area for, I would say, the next week or 2 weeks in order to get more confidence into a broader altcoin rally. So we still have to be cautious, but there are signs which are very encouraging. Also, if you look at our altcoin season indicator, which measures here the percent of altcoins outperforming Bitcoin over the last 90 days, you see we are up from the bottom and still in an early run, right? So there's more room for altcoins left, but keep in mind these rallies can be very violent and very short. But I think it's fair to say if we are in an altcoin season, then we are in the earlier phase. Now, this whole risk sentiment is also supported by commodities. Yeah, we have a little bit of weakness in gold, but you see rotation and precious metals as well, to silver, which is at a 14-year high. You also have strong performance in platinum. And also we had a huge breakout in copper. So this also pushes the whole reflation story. So you see not only crypto performing, you see commodities performing, but you also see equities performing. Yeah, you have NASDAQ at all-time highs, but not only US stocks, also international stocks. You have really a broad participation in risk assets. And the good news is also that if you look at total money market funds, we are at record highs. So there's around $7.4 trillion in money market funds, liquidity, which still can be deployed in higher beta assets. So it remains to be seen where the money flows, but there are also some cautious signs. We still have higher bond yields at the longer end, no matter where you're looking at. It's not just a US phenomenon. You see it all around the world. We had strong moves in Great Britain, but also in Japan. And so I think it's fair to say that governments all around the world have lost control about the longer end. Now that can have different reasons, right? Inflation expectations, growth assumptions, but also I think a lot of this movement is going back to this huge supply and new debt we see all around the world. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see longer term going forward a kind of yield curve control, maybe a hidden yield curve control where regulators adjust banking rules so that banks can hold longer term debt on their balance sheet. So that's something to watch. If higher rates, if it's getting more dynamic, will be a headwind again for risk assets. But also we have to watch the dollar. I don't have a chart here, but everybody is short the US dollar. So that's a very strong consensus trend. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a correction upwards again, which could also be a slight headwind for risk assets. But overall, what we see in the crypto market is very encouraging, but it's early days. Again, very important that ETH can hold at these levels. So stay cautious, trade carefully, do your risk management, and talk to you soon.